Tenet is indeed another dazzling puzzle by Christopher Nolan. Nolan takes control of time again and alters the fabric of reality. We have seen such altercations in many of his other movies, including Interstellar, where Nolan plays with the fabric of space and time. Hello, entertainment enthusiasts. Welcome to Unlimited Movies. In today's episode, we'll be looking at 10 things you may have missed in the movie Tenet. Before we start, make sure you've subscribed to our channel and turn on the post notification so that you can know every time we bring you some excellent content. Tenet is influenced by many other of Nolan's films, making it the most Nolan-y Nolan movie. The film moves along with the same time frame at different parts of the movie, making it challenging to understand the complete story or details without watching it a few dozen times. It has numerous details, references, and Easter eggs that are not easy to spot. But that's okay, because we have got you covered. But if you haven't watched the movie yet, beware, spoilers ahead.
I'm the protagonist.
Then you'd better tie up those loose ends.
Number 10, the Sator Square. The name Andre Sator is more than just a scary name. It has yet another significance in the movie. The name is a direct reference to the famous real-life palindromic square called the Sator Square. The square features 5 words: Sator, Arepo, Tenet, Opera, and Rotas. The remains of the Sator Square have been found in Pompeii and scattered throughout history. The words have their significance in the movie too. The words are palindromes like the movie itself. There are multiple palindromes in the film, including the 747 flight that crashes the Freeport. The palindrome of the name of the villain, Sator, is Rotas, which is the company's name inside the airport that preserves the arts. Arepo is the name of the artist with whom Kat is selling forged art pieces. The palindrome of Arepo is Opera, where the movie starts referring to the Kiev opera siege. Number 9, inverted characters. The movie showcases multiple inverted objects, including bullets and weaponry in the beginning. But the objects are not the only things inverted. The characters get inverted too. There are multiple scenes in which the inverted characters are shown together. The scene during the plane crash where the protagonist and Neil pass themselves in a van while moving Kat in a stretcher to enter the Freeport. Also, the action sequence where the protagonist fights his inverted self inside the building, while Neil also fights the protagonist but lets him go as he realizes that it was him. But this is only shown at the end of the movie. These aren't the only times when the protagonist has passed himself. In the scene in which the protagonist is doing pull-ups in a boat while passing the windmills, he recalls that he's in the windmill at the same time doing somewhat the same thing. Number 8, inverted dialogues. If you've watched the movie, you've probably wondered why you don't understand multiple dialogues in the film. That's because some of the dialogues were actually said backward, since language is also inverted. In the scene where Sator has both Kat and the protagonist captured on either side of the glass window. As a matter of fact, these dialogues were not recorded normally and then flipped. The dialogues were entirely recorded backwards. The actors had to speak backwards. Kenneth Branagh, who did the role of the villain Sator, tells in one of his interviews that this part was specifically challenging for him as he had to speak backward with his strong Russian accent in the movie. Number 7, the cyanide pill. At the beginning of the movie, the protagonist is captured and tortured to give up the CIA secrets. The man even plucks his teeth with a plier to slowly torture him. But he opts to kill himself by consuming the cyanide pill given by the CIA. The protagonist chokes on the cyanide pill and later wakes up in a hospital bed to realize that it was a test and the pill was fake. Later in the movie, you see Sator holding a similar pill to kill himself and trigger the dead drop. But the pill, as we know, was fake and was used as a test to see if the agents are worthy. Senator wouldn't have died even if he took it, but Kat kills him before he even tries to ingest the pill. Number 6, names. Some main characters are not given proper names, including the hero of the movie who is just called the protagonist. The movie also doesn't give proper backstories for everyone. All we know about the protagonist is that he is a loyal and skilled agent who is capable of handling dangerous missions on his own. The only person with a proper backstory in the movie is Sadar, who tells about his past to the protagonist. Another such person is Ives. Ives just pops up in the middle of the movie and suddenly plays an essential role in the film. He acts as the mission's cavalry when Sadar captures the protagonist. At the end of the movie, it's also seen that Ives takes one part of the algorithm and walks away, promising that he'd look for them and kill them if he finds them. In the beginning, it's made clear that no person in the mission is supposed to know too much about the other person or the mission itself, but Ives seems to be updated and aware of everything. Number 5, red and blue. The colors red and blue have been used throughout the movie to show who is inverted and who is not. These colors are essential in the movie as it helps the viewers understand a lot about the location and time and about inversion. The film is exceptionally confusing, even with the color coding, so imagine if there wasn't any. There are multiple scenes in which the color is expressly used, including when Kat and the protagonist are captured. One room is lit in red and the other is blue. There are also scenes in which Kat wears a red dress, showing she is not inverted, and also color codes at the door when Neil and the protagonist enter the room in Rotas. The color codes are also used in the shipment containers, the watches and the tags used by the soldiers at the end of the movie. This is one place we realize that Neil is moving backward in time while the protagonist and Ives are moving forward. Number 4, the red string. The string on the bag appears in multiple scenes in the movie, including the siege at the opera house at Kiev, the locked door, etc. When Neil is walking away from the protagonist, after handing him his piece of the algorithm, he's clearly walking towards his doom. The protagonist spots the same red string on Neil's backpack as the one on the invested red soldier who lay dead on the other side of the locked gate. Neil is indeed a confusing character in the film. He's also seen in the beginning of the movie during the siege at the opera house, where the protagonist is saved from the Russians by what appears to be a man wielding an inverted bullet. This man can be recognized as Neil, as he has the red string on his backpack. Number 3, who is Neil? This seemingly interesting question isn't wholly answered throughout the movie, leaving the audience in a dilemma. Neil tends to know more about the mission and the protagonist better than the protagonist himself. When Neil answers the protagonist's question, he says him and the protagonist know each other much better than the protagonist knows now. This means he is yet to learn more about Neil as he moves forward in time, while Neil knows more now as he moves backward. There's also a possibility that Neil is Max, as there are multiple instances in the movie that make us think so. Neil knows too much information about the protagonist, including his drink preference, part of the mission, etc. He also moves forward and backward in time to help and rescue the protagonist. Neil too dresses up nicely and speaks Estonian and English, which could be something he got from Kat as she comments in the protagonist's dressing, trying to look rich. Also, Neil could be the last 4 letters of the palindrome of Maximilian, the short for which is Max. He also seems to spend time with Kat after giving her the injection. Number 2, the scientist. In the movie, Priya mentions that the algorithm was made by a scientist from the future who later dismantled it and hid it in different places before she killed herself. But nowhere in the movie does it mention who the scientist is. But as we see in the film, there is only one scientist in the movie, Laura. It may be her future self that finds the algorithm, since she seemed to be into studying inverted objects and radiations that she's been working on it for years. But it just sounds far-fetched and we don't have her proof for that. Number 1, Tenet. Yes, the name of the movie has a lot of hidden meanings that would make sense after watching the movie. It is not only the fact that the name is a palindrome and is found in the Sadar Square. The name is a combination of 2 tens, forward and backward, referring to the 10 minutes at the end of the movie. The ordinary and inverted soldiers are given 10 minutes running forward and back. This is indeed a mind-blowing coincidence with the title. Or was it framed so? These are 10 things you might have missed in Tenet. If you'd like the video, make sure you hit the like button and ensure you've subscribed to our channel. Also, do let us know which scenes shocked you the most in the comments section below. See you in the next video.